Hello everyone, welcome to day 27th of August Late Code Challenge, and today's question is first right interval. Let's go through the question as usual. Given a set of intervals, for each interval I, check if there exists an interval j whose start point is bigger than or equal to the end point of the interval I. So this statement is very important. Please keep a note of this statement, which is called that j is on the right of I. Let's go further. For any interval I, you need to store the minimum interval j index, which means the interval j has the minimum start point to build the right relationship for interval I. This is another rule that we need to apply. If the interval j does not exist, store -1 for the interval I. Finally, you need to output the stored values for each interval as an array. There are two nodes specified. You may assume that the interval's end point is always bigger than the start point. Very important point to note here. You will also assume that none of the intervals have the same start point. That means all the start points are unique in nature. So I gathered two important information from the question, and I have listed in my PowerPoint presentation here. So these are the two rules that were specified in the question. Let's go through both of them. For every ith interval, identify jth interval such that the start of j is greater than equal to interval ith end point. So it means that the start of the jth interval should be greater than or equal to the end of the ith interval for which you are calculating the first right value. And out of this set, the complete set that is generated, you need to identify the minimum start point out of the possible indices. So you stored all the indices where this value holds true, and you need to identify the minimum index where this equation holds true. So let's iterate through this example. We are given 3, 4, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. This is at the 0th index, 0th. This is at the first index, and this is at the second index. So let's iterate through this for the first value of the array. So it's 3, 4. We need to identify this is I is 3, 4 in this case. This is the first index, and the end of I is 4. So we go to the next element and see whether the equation holds true or not. It doesn't hold true. It doesn't hold true. Now we move ahead. It doesn't hold true. So no possible value exists, and we added -1 to our answer. Now I moves to the first location, and the end of the ith interval is 3. You start from the 0th index and check whether the equation holds true or not. It holds true. Yes, it does hold true. And this is the same element, we skip that. And for this, it doesn't hold true. So the answer would be the 0th index, as this index holds true. So we got this, and now comes the third case, the third point. So this is the end of I, in this case 2. Let's iterate through both the elements. So here as well, 3 is greater than equal to 2. Yes, it is. This is a valid case. 2 is greater than equal to 3. Yes, again it's a valid case. We need to identify the minimum out of the two indexes. So this becomes the answer because 2 is closer to 2 than 3, and hence we stored 1 here. So if you want to code this up, you can use two approaches. I'll first talk about the naive approach. You can, as I iterated through the array, you can also do the same thing. That will cost you an order of n square time complexity, and the space complexity would be equal to order of n for storing your result. The other approach could be you sort the array on the basis of the start time and apply binary search to it. Another way to do the same thing can be done by using a tree map. So I have coded that solution already, and let me just walk you through the solution so that you get a better understanding of it. I initialize a variable len which stores the length of the interval. This is the base case where length is 0. I simply returned as an empty array there. When length is 1, I know there will be never be a solution, like since there is only one element. So I returned an array with one element with -1 index in it. Otherwise, I initialized my answer array to length n, and I defined tree map to store all the elements in a sorted fashion in terms of their start points. So this is something like my start point, comma index at which it occurred. So it's a key value map which gives me this two information, the start point and the index at which it occurred in the array, in the input array. I'll talk about what benefit does it give. So I iterated through the map, the intervals, and stored this information in my array. So this is my start point for each index I, and I stored the value at like the ith, the iterated index at which it occurred in my map. Now I iterated again through my length, starting from 0 till ln, to find my answer. And this tree map always stores the value in a sorted fashion. So I looked up for the end value that I'm interested in for the ith interval, because this sorted map dot ceiling value will give me the first greater value than the end point of the ith interval. So that means that I'll get the immediate next minimum next value, which is just greater than the interval end point at the ith index. So if that index is null in my array, in my map, then I'll return -1. Otherwise, I'll search for its value in my map, which stores the index, which will give me the index. And this can be done in order of log n, and the time complexity for the complete operation would be n log n, because you are iterating n times here, and for searching in the sorted map the complexity is log n, so n into log n, and you return the result. Hope I am able to convey my solution today, and thanks for watching it.